What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today I've just got a bit of a discussion video for you guys talking about pretty much just the future of Battlefront 2, where I think it's going to go and how much longer I think we have left, as obviously right now things are up in the air a little bit with everything that is going on in the world. Now, I'm sure you all know by now that the Scarif update has unfortunately been pushed back for a second time, looking more likely now to be the end of April at the very earliest. And this has obviously thrown a bit of worry around the community in that no one really knows what the hell is going on right now. As frustrating as it may be, we do need to keep on reminding ourselves that there is a global pandemic going on and that things are pretty bad for a lot of people right now. So in the grand scheme of things, a free update for a video game really isn't up there on the priority list right now. With that being said, I think most of the community are more just frustrated with the lack of communication than anything. I think we all kind of knew this would be delayed again, considering we hadn't heard any news, but it was more just the not knowing that got kind of frustrating for most people. Again though, that communication or lack thereof was likely due to what's going on, as I'm sure that DICE didn't really know whether or not they could put the update out or not, hence why it took so long for the communication. So again, it is really frustrating, but in times like these we all just honestly need to suck it up a little bit and realise that this is just the hand we've been dealt, and that until things get better we've just got to get used to stuff like this happening, with hopefully a little bit of improvement on the communication side of things. Now, with all of that in mind, like I said, this has caused a lot of doubt and confusion within the community over the last week or two, and I've noticed that this is kind of the only real topic floating around right now. What does all of this mean for the future of Battlefront 2? Currently, we have no community manager since Ben has moved on to his other role as a producer at DICE, which in my opinion he definitely deserves after all that he has done for this game. However, that has unfortunately left a void in the community in that we seem to pretty much have radio silence at the moment, in a time where we arguably need communication the most. That, combined with the fact that the Scarif update is the only official update that has been confirmed for the future, it does all honestly look fairly grim right now when you look at it from the outside, as it almost just looks like this Scarif update could in fact be the last update the game ever receives. Now, do I think that's going to be the case? Absolutely not. I do think that this whole coronavirus situation is making everything seem so much worse than it really is, because even if the game was in its best state ever, this would still cause the content to slow down and therefore the communication as well. We do have to remember that Ben left for his new role, or at least announced it anyway, way before the coronavirus situation started to unfold, so it is most likely just a really shitty coincidence that he left right as this happened, because now having no communication, it does make things seem so much worse. However, let's just say Ben was still there, I think we'd all be less worried for the game than what we are right now. In a way, it does seem pretty bad for the game's future that there's no community manager, as that could be seen as, you know, the game is coming to an end, so now's the time to move all our staff into new positions and stuff like that. However, on the other side of that, there might still be hope yet. My good friend Ethan, better known as Danger Cat, who some of you guys might know from the Wayfinder project that I'm involved in, recently mentioned to a few of us that there is actually an ad for a job out there that could be the new community manager role, and in my opinion, if they weren't planning on filling that role, then they definitely wouldn't be advertising it. If they were to fill that role in the next few weeks or months or however long it takes, I think that would instantly change a lot of people's stance on the future of the game, since they're obviously not going to fill that role if the game isn't even being supported. Now, it could be a role that covers all Star Wars games, kind of the same as what Ben was doing, and that could change that story a little bit too, as maybe they're hiring someone new to be the community manager for the LEGO Star Wars game later this year, or maybe some other upcoming Star Wars games, but I just don't know if that would be the case, as I still think Battlefront would need a CM more than single player games like those ones. Obviously, this is all completely just conjecture. We are going to have to wait and see what happens with the new community manager role, but I guess the point that I'm trying to make is that, as grim as it might seem right now, there is also the possibility that when this coronavirus stuff blows over, we could finally get a new community manager and things could still return back to normal. Now, the other issue that a lot of people can see is currently the Scarif update is the only confirmed update for the future. We have no idea if there's any other updates after this one, as really they just haven't said much at all about the future of the game. For most of the last year, and hell even the year before that, we've always kind of been kept in the loop about the next 2 to 3 months minimum, knowing roughly what we're going to be getting, or at the very least just knowing that we are going to be getting something even if we have no idea what it will be. The perfect example of this was at the end of 2019, they mentioned that they were excited to announce this stuff coming in January, February and March, so at that point we knew that there would at least be content until March, and that's just kind of how it's always been. They announced in detail what we're going to be getting in the coming month, while slightly mentioning what we could be getting in 2 to 3 months after that. Right now though, there's really been no hints to anything after this Scarif update, no mention of what era they're going to be focusing on, no drastic hero changes or new maps or anything like that in the future, and for me personally that is where most of my worry is coming from, as it does just kind of seem like this update could technically be the last one. Like I said earlier, I honestly don't think that will be the case. Ending a game's support in April seems a little weird to me, however, with everything that's going on and with next gen consoles coming out at the end of this year, maybe their plans will change and maybe this could be the end. It really is just impossible to tell. At the end of the day, all we really can do is speculate, as there's really no solid evidence that points to either side of the argument, so that is really just the point of this video, to get a bit of a discussion going down in the comments and really just see what you guys think could happen. Be sure to leave a comment down below with your own thoughts on what you think will happen to the game, what you hope happens to the game, or even what you hope doesn't happen to the game, as I'm really on the fence with this whole situation and I am definitely keen to hear everyone's thoughts and get a better idea of how the community is feeling. But that is going to do it for this one, guys. If you did enjoy the video, then make sure to leave a like down below to help support the channel, and be sure to subscribe with those notifications on so you don't miss out on any more Battlefront 2 videos or live streams. Thank you all so much for watching. You guys have a great day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.
You should know, I'm a big deal in the Resistance.